All right, what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest, and we just got some tough news. It looks like Keanu Vasa is reported to be transferring to BYU. Tough hit, sad to see, guys. We're going to dive into it. We'll talk about it. Before we get into it, make sure you smash that like button. Also, comment down below. What do you guys think? Is this a big problem or is this more of a minor issue? I want to hear what's going on in your head right now. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We put out a ton of Utah Utes content, and we've really been ramping things up, putting out a crazy amount of content. So if this is what you're into, make sure you guys hit the notification bell so you can get constant updates as we put out more content. We're putting out tons of stuff here. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's talk about Keanu Tanuvasa reported to be transferring to BYU. Okay, guys, and to give you guys a little more detail, Matt Zenitz, football reporter for CBS Sports 24/7 Sports, has reported that former Utah standout defensive lineman Keanu Tanuvasa is expected to transfer to BYU. Chris Hummer and I have learned for CBS Sports 24/7 Sports, and Chris Hummer, again, another 24/7 Sports guy. So it looks like it is getting confirmed that Keanu Tanuvasa is heading to BYU. Let's talk about what that means for Utah. Again, I want you guys to comment your thoughts. I've given some info on my opinion of Keanu Tanuvasa and what this means. I'm going to just kind of give that again and give you guys a little more detail. I want to be clear, guys. Keanu Tanuvasa is a good player, and I would hope on his upside that he could be a really good player, right? I feel like that's definitely in the possible outcomes for Keanu Tanuvasa. But just to give you guys some context, he's only listed as an 86 three-star transfer, which is like an average three-star transfer. And the reason for this is he's had trouble staying on the field health-wise, but also the numbers don't show an elite player or someone that is just wrecking the field every time he's out there, guys. So don't lose your minds if you're a Utah fan and you're upset that he's leaving. Also, if you're a BYU fan, be aware you're getting a good start, like a above average to good starter. I mean, this is a good player, not a guy we're excited to lose, but also not a guy that it's a real like nightmare that we're losing. Like I mentioned, above average to good player. Where he struggled this past year was barely a 5% pass rush win rate. Not very good for his position. He had a ton of stops, right? Like really good stop numbers. I believe it was something like 20 stops. Don't quote me, but it was a very good number. And stops are neutral to negative plays for the offense. But he also had like a 30%, over 30% missed tackle percentage, which is really rough. And the actual stats, it's not great numbers either, guys. Just to pull up his stats, it's 8 tackles and 1 sack. Again, limited playing time, but you guys are acting like he never saw the field. And so many people get mad when you look at stats for D linemen. Guys, well, what about the pass rush win rate? What about the missed tackle percentage? Can you not take any of that into account? Like, listen, I'm sad the guy's gone. I'm not happy with losing Keanu Tanuvasa. But again, we are not losing some guy that was earth shattering and gonna be the win or lose piece of our team. We're losing a good player. Sad to see him go. But as I mentioned in the previous video, the college model is starting to look a lot like the NFL model, where you take your above average to good players, you give them an offer, a solid offer that you'd like to keep them on the team. But if someone is willing to pay great money for an above average to good player, which it sounds like BYU is from everything we're hearing, the rumor is that there was some tampering here. That's why he went back into the portal. And they were throwing big money at him. And if that's what he's going for, dude, if someone threw a ton of money at me, it'd be hard for me to say no. So nobody should be throwing any shade Keanu Tanavasa's way, just to be clear. If someone is willing to pay you way more than someone else, and it's not that far. It's like whatever social circle he has is not going to be that much different at BYU than at Utah. And good for him. Good for him that he got this bag. It sounds like it was a pretty big overpay by BYU. Do I think there's a good chance Keanu Tanuvasa could become a really good player? Yeah, I really think there's a good chance. Do I think that it's foolish to overpay for players that have not proven yet to be a really good player? Yes, I believe that as well. And I think Utah, if the rumors are true that BYU is throwing the bag at this guy, Utah is probably making the smart move, not throwing the bag at this guy. And I think Keanu Tanuvasa, when it comes to your development, you were trending well, and now you're going to move to a new situation. And we all know how those things can work out. So I wish him nothing but the best. But I think this is not a big loss for Utah. We'll figure it out with the D line. We always do, guys. We always freaking do. And I wish Keanu Tanuvasa nothing but the best. But when they play Utah, I hope we drive him into the ground every play. So that's kind of my thoughts, guys. And like I mentioned, we're moving towards an NFL model. You don't pay the good players great money. You play the good players good money. And so I want to know your thoughts, guys. Comment down below. Is this a big deal? Am I, underplaying it? Am I, making it more than what it is? Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I don't think that's how you guys will feel. um, if the reports are wrong and Keanu comes back to us, as I mentioned, I'd love to have him for good player money, but not for great player money. And he is a good player. We'd want him on the team. But if some team's willing to overpay and make that decision, then that's on them. I think from what I'm hearing in the weeds, we're making the right call. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Smash the like button, hit the notification button. Keep up to date. I am out of here, and go Utes.